So here's Bambi. Oops. Hope if I would zoom this out, warning, this might be moderately graphic. Alrighty, here's Bambi. Little, I guess that'd be a 4-point. And there's where the bullet went in. Right inside the rib cage. And there's where the bullet came out. So I'm going to make a quick video of how to field dress a deer. Okay, first and foremost, the most important thing is to keep your orange on. If you're out here and some hunter comes along and those antlers happen to be in the wrong position, you might end up filling his deer tag for him in a not so good way. I do this pretty quick when I have help to help hold the deer. I have somebody hold the legs. But if I don't have help, I'm just turning like this, kind of spreading. Yeah, don't get any idea. Try and turn the head around. If it's a doe, sometimes their head wants to flop around. Now just cut their neck straight across here, like this. Most important thing is when we get this part here, we don't want to cut into the gut. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to find the point of the sternum right here. Stick your hand up in there, you can feel the bottom of the sternum. Insert my knife just above the sternum. And I'm going to cut right up this line, up the middle of his chest here. And go straight up the neck. All the way to the top. Where I just made that cut across. And then I'm going to cut down through here. I don't know if you can see very well, but I'm just cutting on the side of the trachea. That big white tube right there is the trachea. Just cutting on the side of the trachea. Now we get down here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this fat on the right side of the sternum. Bring it down, and that way it's exposing my meat that needs to be cut. I'll cut this part here in a minute. But right now what I want to do, let me go ahead and cut this rib cage. This knife here has serrations on it. Now I'm going to come in alongside of the sternum. Okay, here's the point of the sternum. I'm going to come in along the side of it here and just cut down through the cartilage on the rib cage. I'm not actually cutting the bone, I'm cutting through the cartilage of the rib cage. I want to stop at the bottom. If you don't, you're going to have poop in your meat, and that's just disgusting in my opinion. So now that's cut open, I'm going to go ahead and loosen the trachea. This trachea here is the key to the cleanliness of this way to field dress. It's actually, I pull on it to get everything out. So see, I'm just kind of using it as a lever, and I'm pulling everything loose. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down here, and see I've cut the sternum here, so I stick my finger in the meat. Now I want to pull that away, don't cut your finger, but I want to pull that away from the stomach lining, and just cut straight down. Typically I only do one knife blade length at a time, just to keep from messing something up, because myself personally, I don't particularly care for intestines touching the inside of my body cavity. If you have a weak stomach, you may not want to watch this. Anyway, so I'm cutting down here inside. I want to cut straight down the middle of his, between his buttocks here, and all the way down just to his anus. You don't cut the anus. Cut down just to it. Now see right here, here's his penis. Comes up. There's the wonderful boy parts. I'm going to cut on this side of that penis to release it and let it lay over on the left hand side. And I'm cutting this meat down the middle to get down to his pelvic bone. So anyway, what I've done here basically is released his genitalia, if you want to call it such, into a section here, and I'm just going to cut that out and get it out of the way. If you see here, this is actually a sheath which comes out, you know, out from under. When they mount for breeding, his penis is exposed. I'm just cutting that down basically to get below the pelvic bone, okay? And I still have not cut into or ruptured the anus cavity, if you see. So what I'm going to do right here is there's a bone right here, the pelvic bone, that needs to be cut so I can get this through. And what I typically do, I'll use my dull knife. What I typically do is just insert a knife. There's a hole in the middle of it. Insert my knife and pry down with the sharp part of the blade up. And what it does is the back side of the blade will bust through the thin part in front of this anus cavity. Let's see, I just broke it apart right there. So now he's completely spread. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut down in here with my dull knife. Well, it's not that dull, but, and if you see, I have basically at this point the anus cavity is completely free, and I have not disrupted it. There's a couple pieces of poo right there that are just coming out the butt end. But if you see here, that's his penis. Fishies are going to love that. And down here is the anus cavity, which is completely cut free. I do not like in any way, shape, or form poop getting on my meat. So that's completely cut free. Now, what we have to do is I spread this as wide as I can. I grab my sharp knife and I go ahead and trim right here at the top. This lining, just trim it back so that when you start pulling, it's going to be free. You do that on both sides. There's a lining, you know, that separates the vitals from the intestines. Careful you don't cut the intestines. That makes a mess. Again, go back to the poop on the meat. Now I had a nice lung shot on this deer, so there's not too much messed up in here. So again, the key here is I'm just pulling my trachea. I'm going to cut this lining where it's holding here. And sometimes I just pull that loose in my hands, like this. Pull that lining loose. But for the purpose of the video, I was trying to keep it moderately clean. Again, complete anal cavity, everything has come out. You see here, I'm actually, if you see a patch of hair right there, that is actually his hair. I'll make him take a crap. Oop, that's Pete. See? There you go, taking a crap. See, not 1 ounce of that poop has gotten on my meat. And now all you do is wash him out with some water, and that's how you feel just a deer.